You got to watch the greatest comedians in the world do it. It was such an amazing education.
Yo, Dom, over here.
Hey,
Dom, hey.
Yo, Dom.
Dom Irrera, Jimmy Shubert, Brian's back. Yo, Dom, this is episode number 19, I believe, Brian.
My own.
Dom, you've been stuck with us 19 episodes. Oh, my God, this is crazy.
Red rum.
Jim, you were
Steve,
saying...
when you go on that rant, you remind me of Steve Simone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you got that Philly. You got that like Philly. Well, 19 episodes just stuck when you got that like Philly thing going. It's hilarious.
No, I try to bring the energy in the beginning, but
That's
I'm
nice.
actually,
Watch tread.
I'm actually a really low key guy, you know. And Dom says that's it's a bad idea to do that in comedy. Be low energy.
Unless you're what, Emu. Remember that guy Emu?
Emil Phillips. Yeah. I would steal a bike.
Who does
I prayed to God for a bike, and then I stole it and asked God for forgiveness. You know, it's yeah.
How'd you guys meet? Were you connected in Philly, or when you went out to LA?
Online, we met. straight guys dance too.
Actually, you know, it's funny. It's kind of a funny story. I was like a kid, and I was running up to New York to go to the Improv to watch. I was just starting. I was going to the Manhattan Punchline Institute. There was a guy named Michael Gold who used to teach the class, and it was like an improv comedy. And then he would run over to the comic strip where he directed, and Dom was one of the players that would do improv. And one night I didn't know. I was a kid, man. I wrote down a couple jokes on a napkin, and one of the waitresses dimed me out. And so this girl, Carol Siskin, comes up to me and goes, you know, someone said you were stealing jokes. I go, yeah, I just wrote it. I didn't know. I was a
you wrote their jokes down.
The funny thing is, one of the jokes that I wrote down, Dom goes, yeah, she stole that from a friend of mine. Like, I used the smoke alarm as a timer when I cook or something. But it was like, he goes, it was a great lesson to learn, because from that point on, I said, okay, so you got to have original material. And it was kind of, and they were very nice about it, although I did get caught red-handed writing some jokes down, which, you know, you're not supposed to do. And Dom was very gracious about it. And then later on, we were at John Campanera's wedding. And I was hoping that Dom had forgotten about it. And he goes, you remember when we first met? I go, yeah, bro. I was hoping you'd forget about it. But yeah, that's how we met.
Wow. So were you doing comedy yet when you went up to the Improv that night, or were you just like going to see a show? Were you like interested in starting?
I was studying at this place called the Manhattan Punchline Institute. Okay. I mean, I knew I wanted to do it. I was a magician. I started doing magic when I was a kid, and it kind of filtered in until I was 18. But I knew that I was going to be a comedian. I had made that decision. But you know, it wasn't like today. Like, you couldn't get in a club until you were old enough to go. So I was trying to do some training, and I definitely was building a joke file and reading old Robert Orban books. And I thought, well, let me go up and take this class and see what the deal is. And then I started doing mics in Philly right around that time. So
how was the comedy scene in Philly during that time, Jim?
Not bad. I mean, you know, Todd Glass was one of the guys. Ron Gollop, a guy named George Sharp, Clay Heery. I mean, Dice Clay had come on. I think Dice had filmed a special there. There was like, there was definitely a scene. There was the Comedy Works, the Comedy Factory Outlet. There was also some satellite rooms on the outside of Philly.
With the teeth.
And I started with Keith Robinson. Keith Robinson and me started together.
Oh, okay.
And so we started. I would drive him out to gigs, and I could get a guest set. And so I started working on it, you know, and that's. But Philly had a pretty good scene. Philly was was
the scene like LA and New York where you could find comedy every night, or no? It wasn't like that.
No, there was just some nights, but it was pretty. I mean, you know, some of these other clubs would do open mics, but they would do like the best of Philly, and then they would have the weekend shows, and then there were satellite rooms, like the Philly Cookbook. Was like a horrible like open mic, you know, guys were shooting up in the bathroom, you were just looking for 5 minutes of stage time.
Shooting up.
Yeah. Like it was down in Frankfurt. It wasn't a nice place. Let's put it that way, dude. Even if you bombed, at least I wasn't the guy shooting up in the fucking bathroom.
The mob thought they'd take a taste of this, right? There was this restaurant downstairs, south of Houston, and excuse me, I'm crying. It brings back such memories.
What do you?
You see,
Houston.
So the guy after he goes, "Give me a kid," and he gives me his money. It's I don't know, like $50, $100. I go, thanks. I think he gave me a tip. It was the money for the payment. He just made a big deal out of it. Get out of here before I change my mind. Hey, thanks a lot, mister.
Where was this club at? It was somewhere in the city.
It didn't last long. Yeah, it was Soho. You know that?
Yeah, in the city.
Why are they Houston all of a sudden? It's like a bad joke ready to get hit out of the park. They're don't you think like Houston, Houston, and spelled the same.
It's spelled the same. Yeah, that's so funny. There was a club up there. It was like I don't know, but on Houston Street, I remember that. But it's like New York's funny. You had little clubs everywhere, like the 3 clubs and these different little places that you could go up and do. Is different than But I like that East Coast vibe. I think that that guys, there's so many places to go do stand up. I mean, you could probably do stand up in New York, 15 different places if you hustled up.
Yeah.
What about Dublin? What about Dublin, Jay? Remember when we were in Ireland?
Oh, Ireland. Yeah, that was great, man. It was so great.
Your whole family, all those guys.
My whole family came over. Like my mom and dad decided they were going. Like with my aunt and my uncle, they flew into Shannon and they drove across Ireland to meet us. We were in Dublin at the Bulmer's Comedy Festival. My brothers, 2 of my brothers came. 2 of my buddies I grew up with. My Uncle Joe came. So it was like a real family affair. I got to play golf with my brothers in Ireland for this festival.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then also, I went there a little early because I figured, fuck it, if they're paying for the airfare, I'm going to go see Ireland.
It might as
and
well.
Then I got to do a couple guest sets at the Laughing Lizard, and Des Bishop used to book this room called the International. So he gave me a weekend spot there. But it's so funny. Like in Ireland, there's no microphone. There's no sound system. You just stand up there and yell at the audience. I mean, there wasn't the theater we played.
Right.
Like these little small clubs. There was the Laughing Lizard and stuff like that. And so, but it was great. That was a great festival. I had the time of my life. It's probably one of my all-time favorite trips because my dad got to see me and my mom got to see me perform in Ireland. And my uncle got to see me perform in Ireland.
You made it in their eyes.
Yeah, it would be like you getting to have your family come to Italy, and get you see to perform in like Sicily or Italy. It's the same kind of vibe, it was great. And
it would be like my family coming to see me in South Philly.
Yeah.
Your grandmother has big tits.
You met my grandmother, Dom. You said she was hot.
Did I meet her?
Yeah, you met her. Took a picture. You took a picture with my dad. You're the first guy ever, my father.
They were so proud of you, man. It was great.
It's a lot of fun. I opened for Dom at my first full weekend emceeing at Helium.
Right.
That was in 2018.
I always wanted to be a credit somebody's credit.
And then when he came back last year and did Philly Live, I opened for him 1,000 seats at Philly Live Casino.
Nice.
And then the year before that, Dom had me open for him at the Trop.
That's great, man.
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun.
Only 2,000 people. This place is kind of stuffy. Let's get out of here.
It's hilarious. You remind me of Steve Simone, dude. It's so funny.
That's my guy, man.
I do, or he does.
He does. Steve reminds me of Steve Simone a little bit. He's got that same energy, that same Philly thing. Yeah,
he's not quite as gay.
Steve Simone is the greatest, one of the greatest guys ever. But yeah, man, I love going back to Philly. It's so funny. Like, you go back to Philly. Steve Simone took me to John's Roast Pork. He took me to this Italian bakery down there on 8th and Schneider, like places I didn't even know existed. You're walking, holy smug, man.
You didn't have the money.
Yeah.
We couldn't go to restaurants. We're getting $4 for cab fare.
How long has it been since you lived in Philly, Jimmy? Have you been out for like a while?
Oh yeah, man. I haven't been, dude. I freaking like literally that the year after I graduated high school, I worked that whole summer. I worked 2 jobs in construction. I was carrying these 90-pound cinder blocks, and at night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I would work at the bar, and just I was a bartender. I started cutting the roast beef, and then I started becoming a bartender. I just saved every fucking penny. I had no social life. And over that summer, I saved up about $15,000. I drove across country in my '69 puke green Buick LeSabre that my buddy did some work on. I drove across country, and I got a hotel room for a couple weeks, and then I found a place to live.
You made $15,000 cutting beef. Wow,
bartending and the construction job.
Damn.
I had a construction job during the day, and I'd work at night in the bar as a bartender. But I started out behind the bar. You had to be 18 to serve liquor. Right. So when I was 16 and 17, I used to cut the beef, and they promoted me. And that summer, I would just work. I had no social life. I just saved every freaking penny to get like $15,000 because you make tips too. You know, so
when I go to Nick's roast beef, we always tip the cutter.
You know, it's so funny. You go to Philly now, you can't even get those roast beef sandwiches because it's illegal to leave the heat lamp. They used to have that meat underneath the heat lamp. You can't do that anymore.
Nick still has it. Or 19th and Rittner.
All right, I'll have to remember that.
It's the original. Okay. It's the original. I'm eating too many. I gained 30 pounds.
Seriously?
What's that, Tom?
No, you look great at that heavier weight.
Yeah, your face is really filled out. It's nice.
He's very sensitive.
I just lost 37 pounds, for Christ's sake.
How'd you do it, Jim?
I do hot yoga 3 times a week, and I work with a trainer. It's funny. I left California, moved to Florida, so I could afford to be a Californian. You know what I mean? Because everything's fucking half price down here. And I watch my diet. Like everybody I know is like on a fucking diet. Even skinny people are on a fucking diet. Like today, I went to lunch to I got a small pizza. She goes, "You want anything on it?" I said, "Yeah, a larger pizza." That's what I went on it because I like to eat, but I'm a fat. I'm happy that I lost weight.
It's hard to eat that much down there, though. When I was living in Boynton Beach, man, it's like you can't eat that much because it's so hot, especially in the summer. You know, you just don't want to eat that much.
No, I agree with you 100%. That's right. I'm hydrating myself more than I'm eating, right? Because it's fucking hot.
Yeah. Toasted.
See, I tried the keto diet. I'm trying to eat all meats and fats. But I'm not I'm not working out. So the math
right next to a cardiologist.
Yeah, you know what you should do? You should do that. I was on that caveman diet for a while.
Oh, the paleo? You did that?
Yeah, no, the caveman diet. I was eating a fucking banana with my foot. You know, I said maybe this is a little too much for me. I can't.
This thing on? Hello.
Pterodactyl meat. Hello, ladies. Hello. Is this thing on?
Did you write that? Is that one of your bits?
I just threw it out there. Fucking sure. It's a fucking comedy podcast. God forbid you fucking tell a funny story. You know what I mean?
Who would be that stupid to write that material and go use it?
I guess it's hilarious.
So bad for you. I'm thinking this is a stupid.
No, there's a lot of jokes I have that I don't do on stage. I just have them, conversationally. You know what I mean?
I think that they have to get laughs if they're jokes. You can't just call it a joke.
It's like the other way I was going to go with that joke. I just had a pterodactyl burger. I was on the caveman diet. Had some pterodactyl.
Wait.
Where do you get pterodactyl? That's a good question. You got to get it on Amazon. I don't. Where do you get? It's fucking crazy.
Is that where you end up in?
How about the?
All right, folks.
It's funny, man. You guys love this. What a great year we had in sports, huh? They got the Eagles and the Phillies. I mean,
they love letting us down right on the last game.
Hey, that wasn't their fault, bro. Those fucking refs. You can't not call it the whole game and then call it with 1:55 left. Look, Also, the defense didn't show up. That fucking prick defensive coordinator leaves for Phoenix the day after the Super Bowl. I go, you fucking cocksucker. He wasn't even in it. He wasn't even in it. Like
Jim, they destroyed him on Cataldi the next day.
Dude, he's a piece of shit. He was one foot out the door.
His name's Gannon, the coordinator.
Yeah. You got beat by a guy with one fucking leg, essentially. They were the fucking second best defense in the NFL. They didn't even fucking show up the second half. But, whatever.
I don't know if you could say Mahomes has 1 foot. That's a stretch.
No, he did. They shot him up with the raw, they shot him up with some shit at halftime. Anyway, the point is, the defense has to show the fuck up. They didn't show up the second half. And so, But I mean, to get your Phillies into the World Series, we're a 6th seed, and they get all the way into the World Series, and then have the Eagles in the Super Bowl the same year. I mean, it's such a fucking rare thing in sports.
It is.
It really is. I mean,
Boston did it a couple times.
Yeah, but Dom, for Philly, I'm talking about for Philly. For Philly, it's a rare thing. It's a rare thing.
It would have been a rare thing if they won. They didn't win.
Yeah,
I mean, they're rarely ever both in though. They never have more than one.
I like the Eagles going forward though. I got to tell you, they made some great moves in the offseason. I really like them. I
think the Mets are going to be looking good this baseball season, there, boys.
Well, the Phillies are the only fucking team without a victory in baseball right now.
A lot of injuries.
A lot of injuries. Long season though. It's a long season.
Yeah, what's there, 186 games? Yeah, I'll catch up with you on the last 40. Let me.
Yeah, no, that's kind of how I am.
I got shit to do, bro. I got shit to do. I can't be getting all emotionally involved. The 186 games out,
Yeah.
Jim, you're playing Philly this week, aren't you?
May 4th. I come back. I'm doing Parx Casino.
Right. Yeah, I'm stopping over there. I want to say hi to you, Mike.
I'll introduce you to my buddy Mike.
I know Mike.
You know Mike. Yeah, you should be over there working that gig.
Yeah, I work his room sometimes. And Joe did our show. Joe did one of our first shows with
Joe Conklin.
Oh, Conklin, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's great. The man of 1,000 voices.
He can do an impression of the Wicked Witch of the West. It's unbelievable. He's always writing new stuff.
I got news for
She had a sister that was a bitch.
Dude, he does. Dude, his Nixon is fucking uncanny. I mean,
you think that's his best, the Nixon?
No. I'm just. He does everybody. Dom's right. He does everybody, and then he does these like references that you'd have to be but he's great. I mean, his he does great voices. There's no question about it, and he's fucking hilarious.
What's up with the Munchkins, huh? The kids or the midgets? I don't get it. Am I right? He read all the contemporary things.
Are you chugging milk? Is that what that one? I just seen
coconut water. Coconut water.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta get the electrolytes, bro. Because I'm in Florida. Gotta get the electrolytes.
I got the Wawa cup right here.
Nice, bro. The Wawa. It's golden.
Drinking it black.
Nice. That's the way to drink coffee, by the way. Black.
How do you drink your coffee, Dom?
Like that little girl in an airplane. Remember that? That was a great line. I like my men black.
Oh yeah, I like my coffee like I like my men black. That's hilarious. I like my coffee like I like my women in a burlap bag thrown over the back of a donkey. What?
That's a little disheartening, Jim.
Are
you married? Are you married?
Jim, that's called kidnapping. That's called kidnapping.
If I take her in another room, it's kidnapping. I think I kidnapped her 5 times last night.
Jesus.
Oh my God, my face is getting so. I gotta calm down with the food at night, man. What the fuck am I doing? She cuts me cheese at 10 o'clock at night. Puts out mortadella salad. I keep telling my wife that's not. I know it's supposed to be no bread, but you don't eat like that at nighttime.
Do you have a life insurance policy?
I do.
That's what she's working on, bro. That's what she's working towards. If I could just get his cholesterol real high, get his blood pressure high, one day get him a little excited. My angina, you're like a little bag of money. Every time she sees you, she's feeding you lunch meat with nitrates in it. She just sees this little bag of money eating salami.
Jim, it's a pleasure to meet you too.
It's not wrong. Yeah, it's not wrong. It's not a bad assessment. You know, maybe
he's got a good read.
You have a hat.
It
says gnocchi. You have gnocchi on your hat,
he's
bro.
got a good read on me, bro. He knows.
Yeah, you have pasta on your hat.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Plus, you're in Philly. I mean, it's a great fucking food town.
Yeah,
Philly's a great food town. There's no question about it.
How do you rank
at least your wife makes it for you. There's some guys' wives who go, "You can't do that. You can't." You go, "Well, I'm gonna go," because you can't do it. Goes, "Who the fuck are you? I can't do what? Yeah, I'm not allowing you to do that. Go fuck yourself."
Are you married? Are you married?
Fuck no. Why would I do that? Why would I fucking be married? What are you?
Listen to the bits.
No, I'm just serious. I'm not doing bits. I'm just serious. Why would I be? Look, all my brothers are married. It's just not for me. You know?
I get tired of old pussy.
No, I just I'm not gonna lie. I like variety.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I travel too much. I just couldn't. Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm getting married in like 6 months, so you know. We got
right after the operation, huh?
Well, good for you. Well, good for you.
Little nip.
What do you think about that transgender on the Bud Light, huh?
What do you mean on the Bud Light?
Really
was there a commercial?
No, they put that girl, that transgender girl, was the spokesperson for. I mean, who gives a fuck? It's Bud Light. Who's drinking that shit anyway? Only somebody transitioning would be drinking fucking Bud Light anyway. I mean, it's a horrible, shitty fucking beer. Like, people are up in arms about it. Like, and I go, who gives a fuck?
And did you see
drinking that shit anyway?
What I did see though was Kid Rock took a gun and shot up a bunch of the cases of Bud Light in protest.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Put it on video.
Put that up, bro. I didn't see that. When was this?
Yeah, he goes, let me be very specific. Someone hands him a machine gun and he just fucking fires it. And he goes, fuck Anheuser-Busch and fuck Bud Light. Wow. And yeah, it was a very powerful statement. But I mean, who gives a shit? Who gives a fuck? I mean, I'm not drinking. I haven't had a beer, and if I drink beer, I drink Corona. I'm not drinking that shit. I drink some or a Stella or something with a little taste.
You put a lime in your Corona?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'll put a shot of tequila right in the fucking beer and drink it like that.
Because it's silly.
I don't want nobody grabbing fruit and putting it into my drink. I think that's disgusting. Filthy, dirty. I get a soda.
What do you drink? When you drink, Steve, what do you drink?
I usually get a vodka and club.
Nice.
Or I'll do
a 6-pack of Schaefer's. 6-pack of Schaefer's and some Rolling Rock. It's some Miller High Life, bro. Going down the shore. Going to get some quarters for the shoots.
My grandmother drinks Rolling Rock her whole life.
No kidding.
She's 84 years old. Gave up smoking 3 years ago. How's that possible? How do they live that long and beat their bodies up like that? It's crazy.
Well, the body, your human body is pretty fucking amazing. It can really repair itself and recover if you decide not to do something. It's actually, they say, if you quit smoking in 6 months, your lungs will regenerate, and in a year they'll almost be back to kind of normal to and then, so
a lot crazy. It's up here too, bro.
Yeah, it's all mental.
Yeah. It's mental. It's mental too. You gotta have a good attitude.
I think it's like type 2 diabetes. And I heard a doctor talk about this online. He said they should call type 2 diabetes what it really is. It's called processed food. Like people who eat a lot of fast food and processed food and drink a lot of soda. It's called processed. Instead of called type 2 diabetes, they should call it processed food disease. Because that's what people's diets are, and it's actually fucking horrible.
So
I mean, we're drinking 12 Coca-Colas a day will kill you faster than a pack of cigarettes a day will kill you.
See, I don't drink.
And that's coming right from Dr. Shubert here.
What'd you say, Dom?
What's that?
What'd you say, Dom?
I'm taking there's little naps of the greatest feeling. Feel good again.
Get a little cap naps in during the show. Well, Dom, we had a fun time. What was that, last weekend or the weekend before? We saw Eleanor's tape, and I was telling Jimmy about that before the,
she was
before the
great.
show.
Yeah, I love Eleanor, man.
Everybody does, you know.
I remember her like when she was a waitress at the Comedy Store. She's come so far, man. She's gotten so good. I'm so proud of her. I think she's terrific.
When you drove across country, is that what you were trying to do? Were you trying to get into the Comedy Store or get into LA?
I literally drove across country, and I like 2 weeks after I got there, I showcased for Mitzi. I started my job, and I moved into my apartment like literally 2 weeks after I got there.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get passed, but I did get a job as a doorman. The first night I worked at the Comedy Store, Tony Clifton was performing live in the main room. And this is about a year after Andy Kaufman died. So everybody thought Andy Kaufman had like played a joke, and it was like the press was there and he needed some extra doorman. That was the first night. Todd Lemish, who was another Philly guy, said, "Hey, could you help us out for the night?" And that's how I got started working as a doorman there, which really was like, the greatest to start there as a doorman. I got to watch guys like Dom, guys like Harry Basil, Dice, Sam Kinison. You got to watch Gary Shandling, and Carlin would come in and Pryor would come in. It was really, you got to watch the greatest comedians in the world do it. It was such an amazing education to see how to do, and you could learn as much from a bad comedian as you come from a great comedian. But Dom was one of those guys who had the laughs per minute, like just fucking laughs per minute. Nobody fucking funnier. Slayton was another guy who had laughs per minute, but Slayton wasn't a regular at the store. But I used to watch like all guys like that. It was such a fucking education on how to do it right. And you could learn as much of what not to do about watching a bad comedian. Like, you see the
difference for her.
What's
Jimmy,
that?
When I auditioned for Mitzi, I got it the first time, right?
Yeah.
I go back to New York, missed a big shot. I got it. Paid regularly, everything. I go back there. She didn't remember me. And the fucking audition again. I said, "You didn't remember me? It's like the hardest thing I did in the world." She goes, "I have to see you again."
And did you get passed again?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's so funny. Well, at least
how long was it you were there before you ended up getting like passed and you were doing regular time?
Took me about a year and a half working the door, and but you got to get familiar. Like those clubs is like you got to hang out for a little bit. You got to get to know people, and people get to know you. It's not. Especially comedians back then. They're a very kind of elusive group. You got to kind of earn their respect, and you got to kind of earn their way in, and that was certainly one of those places. And I was in a motorcycle accident. I almost lost my left leg, and Mitzi kind of paid for my operation, and so it was like I was the runner there,
right?
And and other things. But anyway, the point is
procure.
But yeah, so it became like I became like a regular there, but it was also like my family. It was
Jim. So when you moved out there, Dom was already Dom. Like he was already an established.
I had already retired.
No, I'm saying this was after the Dangerfield special. Like Dom was.
No. This was before that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this was before that. Dom, I knew who Dom was because I used to go to New York. I told you that story with the with the thing, but I knew. And so when I saw Dom out there, I was like, oh, okay, great. So he started New York, and it's like I actually thought at one point about going to New York and maybe starting there and then going to LA. But my thought process was, if I go to New York, I'm eventually going to have to go to LA anyway and like restart over. So why not just go to Los Angeles and start there? And you could always come back and forth, establish yourself as a West Coast guy, and then come back and do the East Coast if you wanted to, So, and I would come back from time to time and do some New York stuff and do Vinnie Brand's room and go into the city and stuff like that. So, and do some shows. So, but I just preferred it. The weather was nicer. California back then was something special. It's before, all the fucking homelessness and shit. I hate
the homeless.
What's that?
I hate the homeless.
It's fucking unbelievable. It's like I had 20 people like before I moved, there were like 20 or 30 people living underneath the bridge, like 2 blocks from my house. And you got to see that every day. It breaks your fucking heart, you know. But they're all
Yeah.
drug addicts. They're all fucking got mental illness. And what does the city do? They put a shower unit in the bathroom. Here, live underneath the bridge. You fucking idiots.
Get
but
Wi-Fi and stuff like that too.
You guys,
Electricity.
The comics take care of them on the holidays down in LA, don't you? Just feed them.
Yeah, well, the Laugh Factory does. Laugh Factory on Thanksgiving and Christmas, you can go down there if you're a comedian and you get to dish out some food, and it's nice. Jamie Masada does that. It's a real nice gesture, but you know,
it's crazy, man. Yeah, I mean, when I was down there, and me and Jimmy were talking before the show, like San Francisco, it's crazy. There's homeless people everywhere, all over the place. You know?
Yeah, it's kind of sad. I mean, it's almost like that's what they want. I mean, at some point in Los Angeles, there will just be very poor homeless people and very wealthy people, and there'll be nobody in the middle because it's ridiculous. I mean, you can't afford those rents out there. Those rents out there are ridiculously high. It's like, I swear to God, when I moved to Delray Beach, Florida, half, 50% of my rent in Los Angeles. Yeah. And still, I'm a traveling touring comic, so I can live anywhere essentially. There's 3 improvs down here. There's a bunch of other clubs down here, so I can keep myself sharp. In Florida, there's a ton of work in Florida, and then I can fly and do the other stuff, and you can podcast and do whatever you need to do anywhere. I've had more auditions in the last 5 months in Florida than I've had in LA in the last 5 years. That's insane. Yeah, I'm auditioning from my spare bedroom down here. It's insane that I can audition more here. Well, because and it's funny because I guess everybody has left. Like people have moved out of Los Angeles.
Right. Yeah, they're not all there anymore. It's not like it was. It's not like it was.
Well, they weren't all there before they weren't all there, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, the taxes are high, the rents are high, the people are high. You know what I'm saying? It's a fucking lot. Good night. Good night.
It's fun though. I had a good time. The store is a great place. That was my first time ever going there, and it was
the store. There's so much history there. I mean, the improvs. I mean, the legendary club. So much soul cooties in those places, man.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and you know, it's funny because I was out there recently, and I don't really know a whole lot of people. It's like a lot of people don't have left. They're going to Austin to the mothership,
right?
But like back in the day, like I mean, you could go to get passed by Mitzi was something. First off, if she didn't forget, and then also you had to follow guys. Like when you were like doing shows, you had to follow. Like I remember I have to go up and follow like Dice or you know Shandling or some of these people when you were a regular there. I mean, these guys were. I mean, it was fucking. You had to figure it the fuck out. You know, Arsenio Hall brought me up in the main room one time. I had to follow Arsenio Hall when he's at the peak of his powers. I mean, it's not those. I mean, they're fucking amazing comics, polished veterans of the craft. And now you go out there and it's like it doesn't. I mean, you see a couple people out there, but it's really the lineups are not like they used to be anyway. So,
you think Austin? Go ahead, Dom. What are you gonna say?
No, just even this thing, the Zoom, it's changed our lives. We would have had to be like an hour away from somewhere in the middle of the night. Now it's just it turned this thing on. I fucking love it. I don't even need my legs anymore.
Hilarious, dude. I remember when I used to do gigs. I swear to God, when I was started doing rogue, I had to learn how to read a map. You know, I had to read like I had a Rand McNally, and you had a magnifying glass. And if you were run late, you had to pull over and use the fucking payphone. Like these, I go, you people have no idea with GPS and all this shit. I go, I was reading fucking maps like fucking Magellan, trying to get to the fucking, the fucking chuckle fuckers or whatever the place.
Yeah, it's gotten a lot easier and it's changed pretty quickly. Like, I mean, really quickly, you know, especially in the comedy world.
Also, everything you see now, like all the online clips or people doing crowd work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so now if you go to a comedy club, people think that's what fucking comedy is. I go, no, it's not. I mean, that's just, I think, if you
so comedians want to show you, you know, they want you to see their act, you know, they don't put that out.
Well, fucking dude, you're supposed to write fucking comedy. You keep writing. That's the fucking, you got to feed that fucking beast. I get it. Right. We'll do some crowd work, but everybody's doing fucking crowd work now. Everybody's releasing those crowd work clips. So when audiences see that, they think, oh, I'm just going to go and talk to the fucking comedian. No, you sit back, relax, and fucking laugh because I fucking put some writing fucking in, you know?
That's interesting. Yeah. I haven't heard anybody that we've talked to on the show say that about the clips. You think people like expect that now? Like fans of comedy expect that from the stuff they've seen?
No,
I never even thought about
this.
that.
This is the reason why it's happening. So Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, you have to feed. This is the philosophy behind it. I'm not saying I do it. I'm not saying I agree. I'm not saying I disagree. The philosophy behind it is you have to constantly be posting some sort of content. So if you're a comic, you have to be posting 3 to 4 clips a day. What's happening is a lot of young, newer comics and or older veterans, they can only post so much to a point where they run out unless they do what Jimmy's saying and write constantly. So
that's the fucking job, really.
Yeah. Or
I agree.
Put the crowd work out. That's what I'm saying.
But you know the funny thing, I don't think you're doing yourself any favors by releasing content just to release content if it's fucking shit. I mean, you're not doing yourself. People go, oh well, no, is he any good? Check out his fucking TikTok. Okay, that solves that problem. No, he's a feature act at best. You know what the fuck are you gonna say? I mean,
you can see it. I mean, I've seen people post clips too. I mean, I edit them for people too, as like, for like, side money. But I've seen people post clips where it's like they're not even getting laughs, and they'll post it, and it's like no one even laughed in the room when you told the joke.
Yeah, I don't get that. Like you're an open micer posting fucking clips.
Yeah.
Like, look, perception is reality. The way people perceive you is the way they will fucking treat you. Oh, this guy, if it looks like you're working all the time, then you must be a working comedian.
Right.
But if you're posting fucking bad clips, people see that and go, well, no need to book that guy. Thanks for fucking, as opposed to not posting, maybe let's say photos of you performing instead of fucking clips and go, oh, this guy's working again.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I mean, you got to be a little smart about it.
I agree with you. I agree with you 110%. I
tell people this all the time. You have to pretend like everybody's watching everything all the fucking time because they fucking are, especially people who hate you. So, you know what I mean? You got to fucking...
Mike Marino said the same thing to me last week.
What do you mean?
Yeah, people are always not that he hates me.
Well, he doesn't like me.
He said somebody's always watching. You got to be smart about it. And
Jim,
of
course you do.
Jim, just to piggyback what you were saying, I was talking about this with another comic. How they were asking why I haven't chopped up all my act and started posting more of my clips of my. I said, I'm a feature act. Why would I'm a solid half hour, 25-minute comic.
Right.
Why would I chop up every single joke I have and put it all out there when I'm trying to build into a headliner and work a 50-minute to an hour set?
Yeah. Now, if you were a girl comic, you could post a fucking funny, like a clip and then a picture of your asshole. And then, like,
he does that. No, he does that. I've edited those.
I swear to God, I see some of these women comments. I go, "What the fuck are you doing? Do you want anybody to take you fucking seriously as a fucking comedian?" I swear to God, it's a picture of my pussy, and here's a joke I wrote.
Yeah,
it's like, there's a way to make sure you don't get fucking booked ever.
Yeah, they'll sell their own rooms though.
Well, hey, you got to be careful. Don't objectify women. Yeah. That's their job. They will check. It's like, I like when women go, pornography. It's degrading towards women. Well, then tell them to stop showing up to fucking do it, because then you got 5 guys standing around with boners, and no one's going to watch that. Yeah, and the little Miss Daddy issues come skipping in the room and goes, 3 holes, no wait. And you go, all right, let's see what happens. But I mean, it's like, to me, I don't get it. What the fuck? It's like, how does a picture of you in your underwear or bikini, well, it gets me more followers. How about you get followers based on your talent? What do I fucking know? I'm the funniest guy nobody knows. Why follow my advice? I wish I had tits. I'd fucking put them up on the Instagram and show people a picture of my asshole. What the fuck do I know? Well, I'm just saying. Every time I see a chick picture of fucking, I unfollow. unfollow. That's it. That's your only contribution. Just to say you could say anything or do anything. That's it. Yeah, with a bikini.
The game has definitely changed.
Jim, lay off the coffee.
Eddie Murphy did an interview not too long ago. He said that show business, when he started, there were 4 channels on TV.
Yeah.
You had the showcase in front of industry. And if you were lucky, you got a chance to be on one of the many few TV shows or do a spot on late night television doing stand-up. He said now show business is everywhere. Everywhere. Like,
well, yeah, you're right. Like, I was lucky enough to get in a couple movies. Yep. You're auditioning against 600 guys or 500 guys for this one fucking role, and you get it. Anybody could fucking, not for nothing. I mean, we're doing a podcast now, but I mean, that required a little talent and ability to get, like you said, anybody could turn on a fucking camera and, hey, but I'm saying, like, and Dom's been in movies and TV shows, and you had to audition against fucking 250 guys to get that fucking job.
Yeah.
There was something to be said for that. That was, and to do it over and over and over again and be lucky enough to be able to do it.
So the real truth is, though, because like I know a lot of people who shoot content that aren't comedians. Even though these people might have some followers and stuff like that, they're not making a living off of it. It might look like they're doing good, but it's the show. It's the showmanship.
And here's the other thing: it is the most unoriginal fucking shit I've ever seen. They repeat everything. Like one person does it, and then 200 other people got to fucking repeat the same fucking thing, put their own thing. That whole thing with the shoes, where you would kick the shoes. I saw that about fucking 25,000 times, just different people. It is the most unoriginal fucking thing. People reading bumper stickers. Hey, if you got to get up and hustle, you got to get up and hustle. Hit the gym. Okay, you live in your parents' basement, all right? Watch pornography for 12 hours and eat Doritos and drink energy drinks and beat off to your dick's orange. Please tell me what I need to do to make my life better. Everybody's a fucking life coach. Everybody's a fucking. I'm a relationship coach. You've been divorced 4 fucking times, Kathy. What the fuck are you telling people? Everybody's an expert. Everybody calm down.
Jimmy, did you take your pill?
I got to lay off the call. Take your pill. Jimmy, take your pill.
Wash it down. There's a reason.
Tell me, yo, down.
There's a reason.
What? When was the last time you and Jimmy worked together?
Shit, probably that time in Camden.
I think we've done some stuff at the store. We were on the same show. I brought you up on stage at the Comedy Store. I was doing Last Comic Standing, and it's so funny. You gave me a great compliment. I was doing that therapy cat bit, and Dom. I brought up Dom on stage, and granted, it was a fucking cat versus dog bit, but it was a real contemporary spin on it that the lady had a therapy cat. And he goes, did you just take a fucking dog and cat bit and put a real contemporary spin on it? And he gave me a compliment from the stage. And I was in the original room at the Comedy Store. I remember that because it was like I felt better. He gave me a compliment about something I wrote versus the first time he called me writing something down. I was like, all right, maybe I earned my, my stripes. That it was a nice compliment.
Everything came full circle in that moment.
Yeah, it did. It's so funny. It's a funny story. My dad was a Philadelphia police detective. Mm-hmm. And when I started doing comedy, there was a guy named London Lee. Oh, yeah. And my dad was a Philly detective, but they would get like duty where they had to like show up at shows and keep an eye on the crowd stuff. And London Lee was on, and London Lee used to do this joke. I get off the train. I see 2 cops with German Shepherds. I go, hey, what do you know? Philadelphia, you don't only see with blind cops. My dad must have told me that stupid fucking joke 1,900 times. And I was doing a club called Stitches in Northeast Philly, and I was open for the legendary Wid.
Wid's still around.
My buddy John Tucci had ran the club. And so I'm up there open for Wid. I had a good set. My dad got to see me. And then I come off stage, and Wid said, hey, Jimmy, I wanted you to meet somebody. He goes, Jimmy, this is London Lee. London Lee, this is Jimmy Shubert. I go, hold on. I said, I got to introduce you to my dad because I swear to God, I fucking hated London Lee and I hated that stupid fucking joke. My old man told it to me so many times. And so I bring out Dad, come here, I got to introduce you. I go, London Lee, this is my dad. Dad, this is London Lee. My dad's your biggest fan. And London Lee goes, your son is very funny. And my dad never told me that stupid joke again. But yeah, it felt like a full circle moment. It was one of those full circle moments, you know.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
The wood's still around and killing, Jim, in Philly.
Hey, yeah, dude, let me tell you something. The original Carrot Top. I mean, you know what's funny to me? I mean, that guy I die laughing watching the Wid. He still
Jim,
cracks me.
I heard that story from multiple people that he had that act before Carrot Top. A bunch of Philly comics.
Dude, it was so funny. I think he was just off the grid. I'd like to. He would go, and people wanted to, but I don't think he had like a social security number. He wanted to remain low key or something. I don't know what the deal was, but I mean, there were opportunities that he had. But I guess
what was that, Dom?
His props were too big.
Yeah,
he hurt his back.
Yeah, I saw him driving an 18-wheeler the other day. I said, "Man, you've been doing some writing."
Carrot Top's had a great run in Vegas.
Yeah, he has, and it's so funny. He actually flew back to Orlando recently, and some lady fucking said, "Oh, you poor dear." She goes, "You look like that." She said to Carrot Top, she goes, "You look like that guy in Vegas, Carrot Top." You know, you poor thing. You look like that Carrot Top fella. And she said it to Carrot Top.
That's hysterical.
Like, yeah, I mean, how bad's that?
It's Orlando.
Jim, thanks for hanging out with us, man.
Hey, Dom, great seeing you again, man. Great seeing you, Brian and Steve. Great hanging with you guys. I appreciate you having me on, man.
And you
great
said you're
anytime.
Quick plug. You're in Philly May 4th.
I'm in Philly May 4th. I'm at the Parx Casino. I'll be out at the Comedy Store in San Diego on April 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, and doing some shows around here at West Palm Beach Kennel Club. I'm doing on the 12th of May, and so but people can go to jimmyshubert.com. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and all that good stuff, and you can see my shows. Guys, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Great seeing all you. Good luck, Dom. Yep. Great seeing you, man. I love you, brother. Be well.
Love you too.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks. Adios.
Yo, Dom, over here.
Hey,
Dom, hey.
Yo, Dom.